active with our continuing education, so it should be fun. For those that don't know me, I am Coach Cambio, Todd Cambio. You may hear me be called the Red Gorilla. That's kind of my handle. So I specialize in kettlebells for my training tool. I am highly trained in these things going, I got to be a decade now into these things. So I'm also a team leader for Strong First. So I do teach these certifications globally, and I love bells. And what I'm here to do is primarily show you how you can get a heck of a lot more out of kettlebells for obstacle course racing and obstacle proofing your body and things like that. So, so I definitely, I'll say this, I have strong opinions. I'm not afraid to share them. I do believe kettlebells is the missing link for a lot of people, or could be the missing link for a lot of people in our sport. I just feel like you're going to get ridiculous grip strength, ridiculous posterior chain work, and absolutely programmed correctly, you can actually get some fabulous cardio based benefits. So I'm not so much going to talk crazy programming today. I'm going to keep it simple. The number one reason you should have a kettlebell is to swing it. Okay. Anything else, you can use a different tool. You can squat with dumbbells, sandbags, stones, Atlas stones, barbells, of course. You can do all kinds of get-ups with all kinds of things, including people. You know, you can do a human get-up. So I'm here to show you the one thing that you can't really do with a lot of toys, most toys, and don't ever say a dumbbell to me. You cannot swing a dumbbell even close to what you can do with a kettlebell. You just won't generate the hip power or be able to hold on to enough weight to get anything out of it. So kettlebells, ballistics, I'm talking swings, cleans, and snatches are the big three. Is there more? Of course there is. High pulls can be in there too, but if you can learn the swing, it literally opens up the gate for all the ballistic stuff. So I'm gonna stick to hard style. I am not sports style. I am pure hard style, which I believe is the most athletic form. It is an athletic ready position. It is using your hips. It is explosively jumping without leaving the ground. It is hips, glutes, abs, all that stuff, and grip strength, and your lats all rolled into one neat little package. However, like anything else, it takes time. You have to invest in learning them. And my goal today is to have you leave this webinar with a very strong sense of how to do a hardstyle swing that is full body, that is getting everything you need. So I know we'll have some questions. So what we're going to do is let's go through the PowerPoint, then maybe field a few questions. And Doc, I was going to kind of have you moderate the questions. You know, we'll get a few to start, just to, you know, answer any stuff that's itching, but, you know, itching to come out from people. So how about we just do the PowerPoint? It's very short and brief, just giving you some quick, just some quick highlights, I guess, and how it relates to Spartan racing and all the fun stuff that we do. So let me make sure that I can show you my screen. So keep in mind, I'm not the most technologically savvy dude. So here we go. Give me a thumbs up if you can actually see my screen before I, all right, there we go. All right, cool. So yeah, that's some of the stuff that I gotta work on myself, is getting this, the Zoom stuff down. And yeah, I'm better at bells than I am at doing this kind of stuff. So let's see. Of course, I can't see the buttons I want to see. So hold on one second. All right, now is it full screen? Give me a thumbs up. Is it full screen? You can actually see, yes, all right. Nick, I see you, I see Doc, all right. Everyone else is gone from my screen right now. All right, so again, we were talking kettlebell ballistics. I'm gonna focus on the swing first, which opens the doors to cleans and snatches and high pulls and even rotational things. Just great stuff, mostly the ballistics, okay? Then, what we're gonna get into is really the nuts and bolts of this, is the why. So in my opinion, again, it's my opinion, I believe the movement patterns that you do with kettlebells translates best to just being a general athlete. It is that athletic ready position that you start from, that you jump from, that you land from, that you change direction from. And let's face it, we run, we jump, we climb, we jump off things, we land, all that stuff. So I think that this is a great tool to incorporate your athleticism, which of course is one of our pillars. Ballistics can be used to train all three energy systems. So it's not just about working so hard that you're just fatigued out and crushed. Now, there's a time for that, of course there is, but with kettlebell ballistics, you actually want to be able to control your breath, much like doing like a 5K pace of a run. You should be able to have that ballistic pattern and keep doing the swings, put it down as necessary, where your heart rate kind of comes up and back down, up and back down, up and back down. And what it does is you can start really building up some cardio benefits. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about that. For all obstacles that I can think of, for the most part, the number one thing you need is grip. And what do kettlebells work every single time you touch them, specifically ballistics? Grip strength, grip endurance. The heavier you go, the more strength, the more volume you do, the more grip endurance you have. So like I never do farmer's carries ever. I just snatch, and I can pick anything up and carry it forever because of the ballistic nature of kettlebells. Doing overhead things like monkey bars and any of the multi-rigs, I am constantly going overhead with a bell and having to grip it when the forces are coming down to do another swing. I have no problem grabbing pretty much anything overhead, from rope climbs to monkey bars to rigs. So it'll help you there. Just general athleticism, the balance, awareness of your body when you're moving this heavy object through space. All these things roll right into what we do at Spartan. And I will show you in a moment how they match up with actually our Spartan Pillars fairly well. Now, so what I did is I'm not going to read everything word for word, but what I'll let you do is when you get this recording, dive a little deeper into some things. But at the end of the day, there's so much great research out there. It's not just me and what I like. This is actual research from people in the field. And I've tested a lot of this stuff, and it's amazing to see how much you can improve yourself physically and mentally from using a kettlebell with the program we're going to go over. So one of the cool things, Ace did this study back in 2010, said that you can get up to 20.2 calories a minute by doing snatches, which is equivalent to a 6-mile pace. And if you've ever done snatches for time, like a 5-minute snatch test, it is some of the most intense cardio you can do. Even going up to a 10-minute snatch test, where it's kind of like an AMRAP, do as many as you can. It's absolutely amazing, and you'll kind of get to see that. You can also look at what I liked about Strong First is they actually tested a bunch of our Gyrovics, our kettlebellers, and they put us on a force plate. And what they found out was a simple 53-pound or 24-kilo kettlebell. When you swing that thing, you're pushing into the ground 500 pounds worth of force. Now that's amazing for a 53-pound object, and that's every single swing. So if you're doing 10 swings with a 53-pound kettlebell, that's over 5,000 pounds. You do 20 swings, you've moved a ton. So, or sorry, 40 swings, you've moved a ton. So that's a lot of weight you can move in a short amount of time. And you'll get, again, we call it the what the hell effect. You're going to get cardio. You're going to get grip strength. You're going to get abs and core, glutes, quads, and abs. You can hear me say a lot too. So the glute guy, everyone know who that is? Brett Contreras. He did a study and found out that glute activation from hardstyle swings actually exceeds what you're going to get from doing squats below parallel. I think that's pretty significant because we're doing a hinge-based pattern, yet we're firing up the glutes more than a below parallel squat. And if you know Brett Contreras, he's big into the glutes. So check him out if you haven't. Cool guy. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to jump ahead. Where are we? Here we are. Professor McGill, okay, spine expert, okay, #1 spine biomechanist in the world. So he found out that, of all things, kettlebell swings actually help you cure any back issues you have, assuming you do them correctly, and we'll go over that. Because what happens is actually your back is usually strong, it just has no endurance. So if you're doing sets of 8, 10, 12, even up to 20 swings, and squeezing your glutes and quads and abs, you're actually protecting your spine and at the same time giving it endurance so it can handle the forces that, you know, of course, life throw at you and or Spartan. Other things, you know, you can read about the quick lifts, just amazing the benefits you're going to get for your joints as well. So you can use swings as a way to actively recover from hard runs after long, slow distance runs. You can actually recover very well with bells. So this slide, I'm not going to go into it too much, but I just wanted to show it to you. You can look it up later when we get the recording. This is through the NSCA, and they gave 6 benefits of kettlebell training, hardstyle. The biggest thing for me is if you actually look through it, it talks about activating the kettlebell swing hardstyle activates the medial hamstrings, which translates directly to us with running. So if you have strong medial hamstrings, you're going to be able to run better, sprinting specifically, but running in general. So you'll improve your running economy just by doing swings. So I think that's pretty beneficial. And again, try it and see if this is something that you like. And then this is just a slide talking about the medial hamstring activation. And again, I'm going to simplify it, but if you look where it says 1, this is showing you that and this is hip hinge. Hip is for hip hinge or hardstyle kettlebell swing. The yellow is squat. And this green one right here, that's a double knee bend. So that is sport style. So I don't know if anyone knows the difference, but sport style is a little bit different. It's like a style of kettlebell all to its own. It's great. It's awesome. I love it. It's just not hard style. It's not as aggressive and not as athletic, in my opinion. But we can talk about that in the questions if you want. So, but what it's showing you here is that how much more dominant a hard style kettlebell swing is with hamstring activation. And it is the #1 thing that's going to activate the hamstrings. And then if you look, you go down to #2 and it talks about whereas the squat swing, which people kind of look like they're squatting and standing up, or the double knee bend swing can be progressed. So they're saying that it's kind of like just a slightly lower level of swing. So if you want more bang for your buck, step up to the hard style swing. And then, of course, you can read here, greater hamstring strength, this #3, has basically shown that it is huge for ACL injury prevention, as well as, again, for running performance programs that are running based. So, again, I just wanted to show you these. You can go look these up in more detail, but there is scientific evidence out there supporting that kettlebells are amazing for us for running and injury prevention. So that is out there as well. Now, we're Spartan. Where does it fit in with us? Well, I kind of blended the old pillars with the new ones because I love the old ones. I've been with the program since it started when Dr. J kicked it all off. But so one of our original, we have endurance now as one of our pillars. One of the original ones we use stamina. So means the same thing. At the end of the day, the bottom line is swings and snatches like EMOMs. Those are absolutely some of the best things you can do to build up your endurance, not just kettlebell endurance, but just general endurance. Because you're going to be tired. You're going to start fatiguing. You got to finish strong or else a rep doesn't count, things like that. So you can take a kettlebell and program it in to get some crazy stamina and endurance. Power, strength. I mean, I can't think of a better tool that exemplifies power every single swing you make. Every swing, every clean, every snatch is all power based, which of course, you improve your power, you can improve your strength. So it is hip dominant all the way, 100%. There is no squat involved. If you want to squat, actually squat, goblet squat, front squat, things like that. But cleans for us, when you get into cleans, and I'll demonstrate them, those are some of the best that we can do with bells for obstacle course racing. If you want like a gorilla grip, I'm serious. Do cleans, specifically double cleans, because now you're doubling the load for the hips, but taking that load and cutting it at half for what you're holding on to. And you can develop some crazy powerful hips and some crazy powerful grip with cleans. That's my favorite for just thinking of grip training and grip strength. Athleticism, again, I probably said this 10 times. I'll keep saying it. I believe it is the ultimate athlete builder is a general two-handed kettlebell swing. And then, of course, getting into all the other advanced things, snatches, cleans. It is hip dominant. So that means glutes, hammies, the whole posterior chain, your lats are definitely in there. Huge, huge, huge. Recovery, one of our pillars. Yes, I mean, when you start using a lighter bell on those off days and just start swinging lightly, you can get your heart rate up. Say your knees hurt from running, or say, like I know Rose is on this call. Rose and I both had crazy busted out toes, big toes, couldn't run, couldn't hike, it hurt too much. Well, dig your heels in and do some swings, and you can get some awesome cardio, awesome recovery days in to help yourself heal, get some blood flow going, maintain your training, things like that. Tenacity was one of our old ones. I had to put it in there because I needed a T, but you know, our new pillar is code. Yes, Kettlebell Ballistics hit all of our code. It does. And yes, there is a huge attitude you have to have with the bell. You kind of have to have this aggressive attitude in my mind. So you have to be disciplined. You have to have some grit, have to have a passion for the bell. Because when you have those things and many of our other mind pillars, it's amazing how much benefit or how many benefits you can get out of the kettlebells. And then, of course, nutrition, everybody. We all know nutrition is huge. And just leave it as this. Kettlebells are made of iron. You know, we need iron. You know, makes hemoglobin, carries oxygen. So if you lack iron, you fatigue. So I'm going to say swing a bell. You lack some iron. You need to swing a bell. That's my little inside joke. Don't all laugh at once. Okay. All right, these are our codes, you know them, but I definitely believe bells fit our code quite a bit, especially pushing your mind and body to limits. Absolutely. And for this code today, I want you guys to think about, yeah, you're learning continuously. I never stop learning bells or other things, but today we're talking bells. So just keep learning and hopefully you get something out of this presentation. So before we start swinging bells, I just want to go over really quick. These are the things I hope to get to today. You can't swing a bell till you can deadlift. You have to kind of understand the basics of a deadlift. We'll go over it and make sure we're all on the same page with lingo. Then you always start with your two-handed swing. From your two-handed swing, you learn one-handed swings, okay? Once you have the one-handed swings down, there's a few strategies I'll go over. Then it really opens the door for cleans and snatches and any other ballistics you can think of. And I'm talking high pulls, low pulls, some of the rotational snatch work you're doing or can do, things like that. And then if you ever get the chance to do true double bells, that is just a whole different level. It's absolutely amazing what it does for the body as far as the what the hell effect. So I'm going to kind of switch back now. We'll do some quick questions, anything that's really itching to get out. And then what we'll do is we'll go into the deadlift and go from there into what a swing is and how to get the most out of your kettlebell. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing and hopefully I see everybody. Hopefully you can see me and not the PowerPoint. The thumbs up on that. You see me and not the PowerPoint.
Looking
all
good,
right.
Coach.
All right. So why don't we do a few questions quick, Jeff, just to make sure, if there's anything, I'll look too
Nothing
quick.
in the chat yet, Coach.
All right. Awesome. Love it. Okay.
Folks, if as we're going through, if you want to type questions into the chat when there's a break, I'll bring them up to Coach. If not, if you can wait to the end, we'll have plenty of time at the end for Q&A as well.
Yeah. And I have time to, if you guys need a little extra time after, I can certainly stay. So I'll just be on lunch break. So I don't mind having my lunch and sharing it with you guys. So, all right, guys, no questions. All right. So I'm going to just kind of talk as I go. But the one thing I will tell everybody right now that I feel is a common thing is 90% of the time, people go too light with the kettlebell learning how to swing. I'll tell you right now, if you go too light, you can move it with your shoulders. If you can move it with your shoulders, like front raise it, it's too light. And what you're doing is you're rehearsing poor movement patterns. So I'll always revert back to sport. So I want you to think of a basketball player. We're in the NBA playoffs are about to start. You sit at the free throw, you don't practice missing. You practice to hit the free throw. So you sit there and you shoot and you practice always to hit the shot. Well, I always like to think of any rep I do in kettlebell training and any training really, but every rep is, I'm trying to be a perfect rep. So if I lose the explosiveness in my hips because I'm fatigued, I put the bell down, live to swing another day. If my grip is fading, I don't hold on for dear life. I put the bell down. So safety is a big issue. Always think perfect rep, every rep as much as you can do. Okay, always hit the target, as we say. So let me make sure you guys can see this. I'm going to lower it a little bit. We had some technical difficulty, so I had to move out of my gorilla den into, well, the basement. So here we go. Let's go over a deadlift, what it should look like, some things to think about. I'm going to have to turn sideways quite a bit just so you can see it. I'm just going to change my view so I can see what you're seeing. All right, there we go. I don't know how to show my view, Doc. Oh, well, I'm gonna go full screen and we'll see what happens. All right, so here we go. So a deadlift, guys, let's talk about the basics of a deadlift. So you're gonna hear me say this the rest of this presentation, and if you ever do a course with me with bells or even at a SGX course, and I talk about this stuff, I'm always gonna say glutes, quads, and abs. I want you always to squeeze them, okay? Always squeeze them. So for example, when you do a deadlift, here's my bell, okay? Hoping you can see this. I'm gonna lower this down a bit. You want the bell in line with your ankles, as if you had a barbell across your shins, same idea. And this is a hip hinge. So everything we're talking today is hip hinging. It is all about pushing your hips back, having a slight knee bend, a straight neutral spine, vertical shin. So even if I was picking a barbell up, it'd be the same thing. The only difference is, this is a kettlebell. It is between my ankles, and I reach down, I grab the handle, and I crush it. I actually pretend I'm bending it, okay? So I reach down, hip hinge, I crush it, and when I crush it, I hope you can see my lats go on, okay? I'm putting my scaps in my back pocket, and that's where most people, even a regular deadlift, that's where most people go wrong. With a swing and a deadlift and any hip hinge, they tend to do this. We don't want this, okay? We want to hip hinge, reach down, crush the bell, get those lats on, and when you stand up, you push the floor away, and you squeeze your glutes, your quads, your abs. Nice, tall posture. You don't want to be arching back, okay? You don't want to be slouching. Nice, tall posture. And then we pick it up and put it down. So one of the first things you should always cue or teach people is make sure they can properly deadlift, because a hip hinge is a hip hinge. So a deadlift is vertical up and down. Now we're going to take that movement pattern just as if we're broad jumping, and we're going to hike the bell hard and then propel it forward. So what happens is now you go on a horizontal plane of forces. So same movement pattern, different plane. And what we have to do is dig our heels in a bit more, but we still squeeze glutes, quads, abs at the top. So that's the basics for a deadlift. Drill the deadlift for people, make sure they have it. The next thing you do is make sure that they can actually hike a bell. So when you hike a bell, we're going to call two triangles. This is what we're going to say. You have a triangle. I think you can see this. From the bell to your feet. That is one triangle. So if you've been deadlifting, teaching people to deadlift, right? All you do is tell them, step back. Your feet go slightly wider than hips, give or take. Everyone's a little different. Now you have a triangle on the ground. The other triangle that you're aiming for with the bell or your hands is the knees to your zipper. That is your second triangle. So we always start in the triangle on the ground. We always start and stop from the ground. We never pick it up and air hump it. We actually start on the ground. We hike hard because the first rep is a setup. The first rep sets the tone for the rest of the swing. So here is rep one. I'll show you from the side. Okay, I've done my deadlifts. Okay, I'm ready to swing. I step back. I hinge. I find the bell. I lean back onto my heels. I load my glutes, my hamstrings, my hips. I suck my lats in. The bell is leaning back. Everything's leaning back. And all I do is like a center in football. I just hike it. Okay, now once you hike it, I'm going to do without the bell right now. Once you hike it, you push the floor away as hard as you can, pushing the floor away, that you propel the bell forward. Now it only goes to about this high, okay? We're not going overhead. We're not doing a CrossFit style American swing. We're just doing a hardstyle swing, which is about here's where we want the bell to go, okay? Now when you do that, you are in a tall plank. Glutes, quads, abs are on, nice and tall posture. And then here's where a lot of issues happen, where people get confused and they say, oh, the kettlebell hurt my back. Well, the kettlebell didn't hurt your back. Your form is off. That's what hurt your back. So what you have to do now is once the bell is here, you have to be patient. You have to stay tall, stay tall, stay tall till the bell is about to hit you in the zipper, and then you hike it back again, okay? So you have to play chicken, as we say, with the bell, okay? So here's what it looks like. I'm gonna try and slow it down as best I can to show you what it looks like. So I set up, my first rep is a setup. I'm loading my hips and glutes. I'm on my heels. I'm gonna hike and then I'm gonna stand up quick. Here we go, hike and that's what it looks like. Let me show you what happens when you hinge your hips too early. Because when you hinge too early, when the bell's here and you start breaking your hips as the bell's coming down, well, you're gonna be below your knees. You're out of the second triangle, which is your target area, okay? Your hands need to be right by the zipper. So here's a bad swing, okay? This is a bad swing. When you're here, timing is off, okay? That bell is down here the whole time. So that's why you gotta stay tall longer. And I can't stress this enough. Practice, practice, practice. You gotta stay patient with the bell. So here's what, again, what it looks like, or should look like. And what I hope you heard in there was the breathing. So there's a lot of things going on with a kettlebell swing. So once you hike it, like once you're set up for the first rep and you're about to hike it, take a little air in, okay? Take that little bit of air in, and then after you hike it, and that first push off the floor, that's when you let a little bit of air out. And it's kind of a TSS sound, a little tongue goes on the top of your mouth. And you do that. So breathe in here, hike, and then you do that because you want to create a ton of tension right here. You want your abs to be rock hard. So when you do that, and that little bit of air comes out, when you let that air out, that you are squeezing, 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 and your lats are on so the bell doesn't pull you, okay? That is how you protect your spine. So if your back ever hurts doing kettlebell swings, I guarantee you either you're not breathing correctly or timing's off. And those are two of the major, major things. Once you fix those, again, floodgates open. You're open to a whole world of bells that can just do some wonderful things for you. So, Doc, do you have any questions before I continue on? So deadlift and
Coach, there was one question about the difference between hardstyle and sports style.
Yep. So in a nutshell, I'll demo it, but let me preface this. I'm not an expert in sports style. I've taken a ton of lessons because I want to know the difference. I want to be an expert in bells, but it's a called double knee bend. So it's more of like a pendulum swing. So let me show you my best version of what that looks like, okay? So it kind of looks like, see how it has that little, I'm exaggerating a little bit, so you can kind of see the double knee bend. There's nothing wrong with that. The sports style is fantastic. I'll never say anything's wrong with it. It's exceptional. However, we're Spartan, we're athletes, and I want the most bang for my buck out of that kettlebell. How do I get that? I go hardstyle because that is aggressive. That gets the most medial hamstring activation, which in turn gives the most protection for our ACL. So that's just one of the many reasons why I love hardstyle. So totally different thing. It's kind of like comparing a marathoner and a 100-meter sprinter. You know, totally different running strides, different paces, different speed. So that's kind of where that falls into that category. Any other questions before I go on to the next one?
Yeah, there was one more, and then we'll save some for the end. But one question on the starting weight.
What should it be, the starting weight, you mean?
Yeah. What should they start with?
Yeah, so again, that's one of the tougher questions. So we have general rules that we tend to apply for a guy I'm talking two-handed swing, okay? For a two-handed swing, we always say at least a 24 for a guy, and for a woman, a 16 two-handed swing to start with. Now, if you're a stronger woman, definitely a 20, even up to 24, okay? And for the men, if you're like a big, strong dude, sometimes I start people off at a 28 or even a 32. And you may say, oh my God, that's so heavy. Well, if you are lifting some heavy weights, doing Olympic lifting or powerlifting, you know, what's a 50-pound kettlebell? It's just form at that point. Because again, I'll go back to what I originally said. If you pick something up that is too light and you can, what I call fake swing, where you can just front raise this thing up and make it look like you're doing it correctly, all you're doing is rehearsing poor patterns. So when you actually go to a bell that you should be using, it tosses you around. So the bell becomes the coach, because the weight teaches you to sink back on your heels more, to create more tension, to do that biomechanical breathing. And in the long run, yeah, it's kind of like riding a bike. At some point, you got to take the training wheels off. If you stay with the training wheels the whole time, you're never going to become a good bike rider. So I'm not saying going up stupid weight, but go up so you're kind of like, oh yeah, this is kind of heavy, but not stupid heavy. Hope that is scientific enough of an answer for everybody.
Coach, related to that, the numbers you were throwing out, that's in kgs?
Oh, sorry. Yes, this is, I teach Russian hardstyle kettlebell. So yes, that's in kilograms. So for men, 52 pounds is kind of the average. And for women, about a 35 pounder, give or take, in that range. So 35 to 40-ish, 44 pounds for women, I'd say. And just to give you some relevance, like, you know, I don't just work with athletes. I work with a lot of just regular people, a lot of moms. I used to have a bus stop moms boot camp. My moms are swinging on average 28 to 32 kilo bells once they learned it. That was their kind of average two-handed swing. And they're just regular moms. It's just they learn the technique. They learn to trust the bell, trust the process, and then they got some incredible results out of it. So there is a learning curve. I'm not going to lie. There's definitely a learning curve. But yeah, so.
One more question, Coach.
Okay.
On the swings, are the elbows bent a little bit, or should they be locked out?
Awesome question. We're going to kind of address that, but I'm not going to use the term locked out, but I'm going to use the term straight. Okay. So should your arms be straight? Yes. If there's a slight bend, that's okay. If you're here, this is what I call a T-Rex swing. Now there is a place for the T-Rex swing. Now it's actually good because we're kind of going into the drills next. Like, how do you advance to a clean? Well, that bent arm swing is actually a drill we use to get to doing cleans and snatches eventually. So arms straight for a two-handed swing, and of course a single arm swing. Yes, you want them straight. Reason is, let's go back to projection of force. Your force is going straight out, just like running. You are running in the horizontal plane. You are swinging a kettlebell in the horizontal plane. If you want to go overhead, get vertical, we clean and snatch to go overhead. That is when your elbows come close, because you want to keep it tighter to the body, call that taming the arc, so that it goes up quicker, okay? And without any crazy, call it casting, without any crazy elbow issues. You can develop some elbow issues if you cast, meaning throw the bell out there and do this big arc. And I will demo that in a moment. Okay, I definitely will. Any other questions that you think are relevant right now?
Yeah, I think we can save the rest for the end.
Okay, so let's talk about the arms and all that stuff. Great questions, guys. So I want you to think of swinging a bell. Now in there I put, 2x2x2 and T-Rex. I put some of those terms in there. So let's go over what they are. So when you're swinging a kettlebell, this is what a true hardstyle straight arm looks like, okay? Okay, straight arms, because I want the force to go that way, okay? Now, once I take my arms and bend them, can you see the difference? The bell is now going up. There are times I definitely want that. But when the bell starts to go up, I'm taking away from the big engine of the hip and the glutes, okay? So if your goal is to develop quick, strong, powerful hips, keep your arms straight and do two-handed swings. If your goal is eventually to go overhead, which is great, snatches, cleans, high pulls, even low pulls, then you're gonna start bending that elbow more, okay? So let's let that lead us into, well, let's do a one-hand swing, then we'll lead into clean. So there's absolutely, I'm gonna show you straight ahead. There's absolutely no difference between a single hand in a two-handed kettlebell swing. Everything should be exactly the same. You should set up the same, okay? Except I take a hand off. You can start with two hands. You hike, you stand up, you swing. If my hands are together, see, I want them to stay together if they were both there. I don't want the bell to pull me. So the number one problem with a single arm swing is people lose their lat. So when they swing two hands, they look great, okay? When they go one hand, it may pull them. So one of the major things you got to realize is, and again, this is why I want you going a little heavier with a two-handed swing, so that you realize the bell wants to go that way. You need to counterbalance it. So you got to dig those heels in. You may even lean back a little bit, okay? But you're straight, tall, neutral spine. So here's a single arm swing, guys. I'm going to show you straight ahead. Then I'll turn sideways. So straight ahead, I'm going to start with two hands. And you just swing, 1, 2, and then you kind of let go. 1, 2. Then I go back to two-handed swing. 1, 2. And then I switch. 1, that's 1, and 2. So I hope you can see I was switching. You always switch up here, okay? But I call that the 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. Because what I want you to do, and this is a great drill to practice, do 2 swings, two-hand, then let go. 2 swings with one hand, arm, then grab it again, reset with 2 swings, then do the other side. And swing with 2 one-arm swings until that becomes comfortable. Then, of course, you mess around with the pattern. But at some point, you want to be able to just swing with one arm. So here's what it looks like with just one arm, okay? So I set up the same. I got my triangle. I just let go of the bell, and I still hike with one arm. I hike, and then notice, I'm always starting and stopping from the triangle on the ground. I never, and this irks me, I hate this, do not air hump. Do not pick a bell up and start doing this, okay? You've just wasted 4 or 5 reps. You've not created tension, so you're actually, that's where you probably hurt yourselves doing that, not the actual swings, or putting it down poorly. Always finish a swing for safety, meaning when you swing, hike it, set it, okay? So hike it and set it. Never do like this stuff where you're just swinging. Okay, I'm done. That's when stuff happens to the back. So a few safety issues I forgot to mention. I just wanted to make sure I did. So single arm swing. I'm going to show you from the side. I'm going to show you what it looks like when I get pulled and then how to pull it back. So here's from the side, okay? I hinge, got my triangle. I'm leaning back. I'm going to start with 2 hands and then release. So I hike, 1, 2, now release. 1, 2, 1, 2, release. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now here's what it looks like when you get pulled. Okay? That you don't want. That means the bell is pulling you away and you have to use that lat to pull it back in. So I know it's kind of tough on the video, but I just want you to think about it. If you were to pull like a band, just, here we go, pull a band, right? Practice just locking that lat in. Don't allow your shoulder to get pulled away. Like, suck it in. If you can suck in that lat, suck in that shoulder, you're going to save yourself from getting tossed from that single arm bell, single hand swing bell. I'm going to go to cleans next. Anything else before I go? Question-wise?
Oh, yeah, there was one kind of related to air humping. One of the coaches asked, like, just picking up a kettlebell safely just from the ground without, if you're moving a kettlebell or, you're taking it from the rack and putting it on the floor, et cetera.
Yep. I mean, besides common sense, it's the first thing I teach everybody when they're going to swing. You deadlift it. If I'm going to move this, you'll always see me pick it up like this and put it down like that. Even though I can easily just pick it up and walk around, I can easily do it. I can easily do that. Even that quick one I just did, that was a deadlift, okay? Here's the thing I'm always gonna tell you. You guys are the coaches. What you do is what your clients, members see. So if they see you getting sloppy, picking up, put things down, well, they're gonna think it's okay, and then they're gonna do it. So I do make a point, even when I don't have to truly deadlift a bell, pick it up and put it down appropriately. So just a little common sense on that one. Any other
Hey,
questions?
thanks, Coach.
Yep. We ready for cleans, everybody?
Let's do it.
All right, so let me preface this by saying this is one of the hardest things to learn because you have to keep it close to the body. You have to keep your elbow close to the body. So that's where that T-Rex, that elbow swing comes in handy. If you don't, if you allow that thing to cast out, like you're, sending a fishing line out, it really jerks the elbow and the back. So you can, and I am evidence of this. I'm a pretty strong guy. I could not clean to save my life when I started. I used to throw that bell out, like way out there and do this big archy thing, and I'll show it to you. My elbow, actually both of them, they hurt for months on end. And I just, I thought I was doing it right until I finally had an actual expert show me what to do. Until this is before I even got certified. So if there's one thing I'll tell you, elbows tight always when you're doing cleans and snatches. So here's what I'll show you straight ahead. So I want you to see the window too. So just to reiterate, you gotta keep it tight so that you stay in your window, meaning you gotta aim for the zipper. Because again, if you are casting way out with that bell, letting that bell get out there, it's gonna pull you like that, and you're gonna be way down here with the bell, and that's what hurts your back as well. So here's a clean. Let me just show you. Let's back up everything. I'm gonna do a deadlift, two-handed swing, one-handed swing, right into a clean. So here's a deadlift, straight ahead. Notice my hands right by my zipper. So if I did have to hinge, I could. Okay, that's the deadlift. Here's a two-handed swing. I step back. I create my triangle. I'm aiming for my zipper above my knees. Here we go. Hike and swing. Notice the bell is by my zipper. It is not down there. Okay, from the side, that looks like that. That is nothing but trouble, guys. Stay away from that. Same thing applies for a single arm swing. Create my triangle. Here's my target triangle for the swing. I'm gonna just start one-handed swing. Watch what happens. So all I do is move my hand to the side. I'm even, I'm not like this. I'm even, hand to the side, I hike it, and notice the bell. Always by my zipper, okay? Always, always, always by the zipper, okay? Clean. Here's a clean. I'm gonna show you from the side. Because before you clean, you must be able to one-handed swing. Before you one-handed swing, you must be able to two-handed swing. Here we go. Now notice, my elbow stays pretty much here. All I do is, you can see this, I'm holding the bell. Imagine I'm holding a drink. If I turn my handle, the drink will pour out. When you're cleaning and coming back down, I want you to think about turning the handle and pulling your elbow back just a little bit. So elbow back, pour the drink out. So it looks like if I can show you close. Look how close my elbow stays. And right there is that pullback, okay? So I'm hoping you saw me pull the elbow back, okay? Gotta pull the elbow back. That's how you do a clean. Now, I'm gonna show you a bad clean, a casting clean. And this is what I used to do when I was learning, and it was a bad habit. There's a bunch of correctives for that, but for this video, I'll see if I can demo. This is a bad clean. Oh, whacks you. Oh, crushes you. So if you want to crush your forearm, crush your bicep, crush your shoulder, cast that bell out. Okay, here's a close-up view. Oh, okay. The bell is going to beat you every time if you do that. If you cast it and do that big arc coming up, it's going to whack you all over. You're going to have bruises. You're going to say, I don't like kettlebells. They hurt me. No, 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 no. It's not the bell. It's just form. Just got to fix a few things. That's all. So keep the elbow close. Think of always pulling it back, and don't allow the bell to get away from you. Any questions, Dax? I'm trying to answer anything pressing as we go.
Yeah, nothing related to that yet, Coach.
Okay, yep, that's fine. I see a bunch of stuff popping up, but I don't know what they're saying. So for cleans, guys, now I'm going to show you a two-handed clean, which some people pass off as a swing. So this is the T-Rex thing because cleans lead into snatches. So again, deadlift first, two-handed swing. Once you got that down, single arm swing. Once you have your single arm swing down, and you can do a bunch with right and left by themselves, then start working cleans, okay? Once you have your cleans, we're going overhead. We're going snatches, which is, in my opinion, the king of all kettlebell ballistics. Get the most bang for your buck there. So let me show you a two-handed clean. There are two-handed cleans. See? This is not a swing, guys. This is not a swing, okay? That's a swing. Notice the powerful hips. Watch what happens when I do this. I lose those powerful hips. So if you are swinging, swing, straight arms, powerful, explosive, mean, and nasty. If you want to go overhead to a clean, yeah, sure, do some drills two-handed. When you're feeling comfortable doing what I call a T-Rex swing, when you're feeling comfortable and you're ready to just let go, this is a nice little drill too, until you clean it. Show you from the side. So this is a nice little drill. Get used to the float. You can then clean it if you want, or go overhead. So what you're trying to do, so now we're progressing to the snatch, which again is the king of all ballistics in my opinion. It is ridiculous cardio, ridiculous hip power, and grip strength, endurance and strength, because you have to flick that thing down constantly. So it's jumping from hand to what I call hook grip. So one thing I forgot to mention, grip. It's never a death grip. Relax, you're kind of like this. As you get heavier and you hike it, for example, you may squeeze down so you don't lose it, but it's never truly a death grip. When you get real heavy, there'll be times when it's a death grip, but it should be loose. When it's up here floating, you should be able to switch hands. You should be able to allow the belly to float for a moment while you kind of let that air out. So bunch of cool stuff. I'm actually getting tired. Let me show you a snatch though. So I'm going to show you how to go up first. Because once you're up, the hardest part's actually coming down. That's where the issues happen because we lose the elbow again. So I'm going to go overhead. I'm going to show you single arm swing, clean to a snatch. So you can kind of see the progression. I want you to watch how my arm goes like that to like this to this. So I think you can see me. So what will happen is I'm trying to keep the belt close to go vertical, and then right when it's about forehead level, I punch my hand through, and it's like I'm asking a question in class, like, ooh, pick me, okay? Yes, your hand should be straight, like high-fiving, about to high-five, but straight ahead, in line with the ear, and then we'll talk about how to get the belt down from there. That's usually the hard part. So here's what it looks like. Here's a swing, clean, snatch, okay? So from the side, swing, clean, snatch. And I'm bringing it back to the rack every time. So that's actually called a half snatch. We snatch it up, bring it to the rack, okay? So I'm gonna even out the sides here. So here's a half snatch. To the rack. To the rack from the side. To the rack. To the rack, okay? That is where most people start, because again, the problem is on the way down, okay? So what can I say about that? I'll go back to basketball. When you're shooting basketball, that little flick of the wrist, that is what you're actually doing. So if you've played basketball, you've got an advantage, I'm telling you right now. Once that bell's up here, you literally, move back a little. Once that belt is up here, it's up here, you literally flick it. Like I flick it, and as I flick it, I try and come down my elbow. So it looks like a gooseneck, kind of. So we call it goosenecking. So up here, I flick it. It'll literally jump from my hand over my calluses to my hook grip. So it literally jumps. So I'm flicking from the palm of my hand to my hook grip over the calluses. And I just guide it down. Just like now, it looks like that little T-Rexy thing into my normal clean. So it takes a lot of practice, I'm not gonna lie. There's a timing issue. A lot of people still break the hips too early, which leads to issues. But let me see if I can demo this for you to see. I'm gonna try and go slow. It's very hard to slow down a ballistic movement, but let's see if I can do it. So here we go. Here it is. So I'm gonna flick it. It's very hard to slow. So I'm gonna flick it and I want you guys to watch my elbow, not the hand so much. Watch the elbow and see how close it stays to my body so that I aim for my zipper. And when it's here, that's like the normal clean. So here we go. Get it sideways. I hope that was visible. I hope so. I don't know if anyone has questions. Doc, if you can check them, please.
Yeah, we got some questions. Some people are jumping off because we're running out of time. So yeah, I don't see any questions about the snatch, but I did see a few earlier questions. A question was about the American kettlebell swing versus hardstyle, and if there's a benefit of one over the other.
Oh yeah, huge benefit. I'll tell you, in a nutshell, the American kettlebell snatch was created for just scoring. That's the whole reason. So was it created to give you true benefits? No. So most people don't have the shoulder mobility to do it's a two-handed snatch. That's what it is. So a lot of times you'll have shoulder issues, shoulder impingements, back issues because they're not swinging with a hip hinge or just muscling it up, kind of doing like a front raise to overhead thing. So what I can do and what I do for a lot of my CrossFitters is I show them how to do a hard style American swing. Great question, actually. So here's a hard style American swing. So when I was at CrossFit, I was there for 2 years. I gotta say, it was such a break to do American style swings. It was so easy because I knew how to hard style swing. I could just get the bell floating in my hips and just come down. So it's the same idea as a T-Rex swing, using my hips, but I just go overhead. Oops. I was trying not to hit my ceiling, but I just did. So yeah, you can take an American swing, turn it hard style. It'll make your CrossFitting much easier if you have that exercise in there, like much easier. So great question, actually.
There was a question earlier on the deadlifts. Do you prefer when you bring it back down to the floor, do you hand release and then reset up and lift, or do you keep in contact with the kettlebell?
So yeah, do I do individuals or do I tap and go? Depends on the day, depends what I'm programming for. For kettlebells, I tend to like to keep the tension, so I'll tap and go. For a barbell where I'm loading it up much more, I'll tend to do a lot of singles, where I literally up, down, release, reset, up, down, release, reset. Kettlebells, I 99% of the time tap and go, keeping the tension.
Right, on the clean, question about smashing the wrist. What's a good cue to get people to stop doing that?
Elbow, it has absolutely everything to do with the fact that you're casting the bell. So if the bell goes way out here, right? This bell's too heavy to demo. If it goes way out there and I bring it back up way out here, that thing has to flip around. And when it flips around, it whacks you every time. If you keep it closer to the body, so I can do it's called a half kneeling snatch, okay? Look how close my elbow is to the body. Watch how it actually goes past my hip. See that? It is not out here. Like this is the extension of my arm. It's just about where my elbow is out here. So I'm keeping it tight to the body. If I go out here with this, and I'll show you what it looks like to whack your wrist. Oh, see how I was trying to slow it down, but it whacks you. Because what it does is it comes way out here and boom, way out here and whack. So elbow tight. Imagine you have $100 under here. And if you let it go, the wind blows it away and someone gets it. So if you keep that elbow tight, it will not fly away, okay? Hope that answered your question. Any other stuff?
Any other questions from you folks? Anything that I might have missed?
Form if they want. So we can definitely do that where we take actually live questions. I don't mind doing that. How are we doing on time? I don't even know.
Yeah, we're a little bit after 1 o'clock, Coach. So
okay.
We'll answer some questions. Shoulders, are you always supposed to be backing down?
Backing down. I don't know what you mean backing down.
We'll see if he adds a follow-up, but
I'll try and catch some too. Oh wow, it was a lot.
there was and there is some folks would like to see the Turkish Get Up too. That could probably be an hour in itself, Coach, but
yeah. So well, how about I give them their deal now? How about that? So if they want to see, all right.
Sounds
so guys,
good.
What I'm going to do is, you guys are coaches. I love you guys. You guys all get 25% off for being SGX coaches to my actual online kettlebell course. So a lot of these questions are actually already answered in the course. And it's called the Fab 5 Kettlebell course. It's all the basic movements, plus of course the ballistics of swings, cleans, snatches. I go over deadlifts. I go over common mistakes like whacking the elbow. And of course the Turkish Get Up is in there. So if you want that, what I'll do is a quick screen share and just show you. So here is where we left off. Just doing one more screen right here. And this is for you guys. So if you want to get this course, it's called Fab 5 Kettlebell Course. Just go right here to coachcambio.podia.com. Your code is SGX25 and it'll cost you $75, give or take, $73, something like that. Same as like one personal training session with me. So it has pretty much everything you've asked is in there. It's already there for you. So if you want it, get it. If you have questions, message me, email me, whatever works. Doesn't matter what method. I am pretty good at answering most things. I will say emails I usually do once a day, but if you, Instagram at the Red Gorilla, you will get me quicker with instant messages there. But yeah, if you want it, it's yours, guys. Grab it. Shoot me any messages. Send me videos if you want some form help. Once you're part of the troop here, I help you guys any way I can. So I'm gonna come back on. And I'll stay on as long as you guys want. If you want to do some get up, by all means, let's do it. I'd like to do the ballistics first, get through that, but I have time now. So I'm on lunch break. So I will stay and do whatever you guys need. So why don't we start hitting some questions, Doc? Let's see.
Yeah, so I'm good to stick around for about another 15 minutes and then I have to jump off. So there's a lot of thank yous from the coaches.
Thank you guys.
Appreciating
Thank you
your
guys.
excellent seminar. So there is that. But yeah, no other questions at this point.
Yep. Oh, I got Joe. You want to know prices for bells on a budget? You can use my code, Coach Cambio at Kettlebell Kings, which is also in my course. Get 15% off and free shipping. Best bells for the budget right there. Difference between hardstyle and sport style. We did that. Best way to start. We did that. I'm going way back here. What are your thoughts on locking joints when using KBs? Specific or not? I absolutely lock my joints. They stack up lovely. They're meant to be stacked. So I stack. I'm talking presses. I'm talking when I swing, my arm is straight. Yes. Same as hanging from a bar. Absolutely. Line them up, lock them out as best you can. What is recommended weight for the beginners? Like percent? Now there's no percent of body weight, unfortunately, because too many shapes and sizes. I'll stick to the recommendations, roughly a 24 kilo, 53 pound for men for swings, give or take on either side of that. And for women, a 16 kilo, 35 pounds, give or take to start there. Can they bend or should they stay straight? I understand. Thank you. Saw the difference. Thing. Awesome. Full release. I answered that. The breathing is different too between the two. Are you talking about sport? Yes, there's a different breathing pattern because it's double knee bend. So, but I do biomechanical breathing with this. So I hope I made that clear. If I didn't, ask another question. I'll clear it up. What is the difference between RKC and Strong First? Love that question. You know the difference? Pavel created them both. He left RKC because of a business decision and he started Strong First. That's the difference. Everything you learn at RKC is what Pavel left behind, and everything at Strong First is kind of the newer stuff that he's added and changed. So I kind of think of it as if you want to play Atari, I know this will ruffle some feathers, I'm just playing around, but if you want to play Atari, go RKC. You want to step up to PlayStation, the newest one, come to Strong First. Fun little bias statement on that. I know, I'm just teasing, guys. I love everyone. I have a lot of friends at RKC. They're great guys and gals. But I'm definitely biased towards Strong First. Make no mistake about that. Difference between American and Russian. We just did that. No, hardstyle is always better than American, Russian for overall benefits. But if you're in a CrossFit comp, absolutely. I would just add a little hardstyle piece there and you'll do great. So yes, I'm sorry. I always talk kgs. How to pick up bell properly. We did that. Park the bell when done. Yes, always start and stop in the same spot, that triangle. Soar with KBs now. Okay, awesome. I hope it gets better. If you need any help, let me know. Smash into the wrist, yep. In a phone booth, I like that for cleans. I love that. Yeah, Jess, good one. Yeah, we used to, don't stick baby in the corner. They stuck me in the corner when I had to learn my cleans, literally against a wall. Good question. How important is internally rotating the hand during downswing of one-handed swing and a clean? I've always taught with an internal rotation, thumb to bum, but others doing it with internal or external. So there's pistol grip, which is like this, like you see people pistol gripping. Pistol gripping, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just once you go here, you're going to get more lat engagement. And if you have a big, broad chest, you will tend to naturally internally rotate. So is one right or one wrong? No. Will you get more benefits out of a neutral one? Yes. And a little bit of internal thumb to bum, as we say. That tends to be more beneficial for most. But great question. Just more lat engagement, if I can simplify it down. It kind of rolls into the arm, right? I'm not sure what that means. Todd, thank you for Patrick. 1 p.m. Okay, thank you for coming, Patrick. I will get to the Turkish Get Up. Who's that? Kiara, yep. Assuming the Get Up would be great for, oh my God. It's actually an article I wrote for Spartan on the Turkish Get Up. It's time under tension. It's moving in all different planes of motion. It's a rolling pattern. It's 2 hip hinges. It is an overhead. It's core, ridiculous core recruitment. I absolutely recommend 1000% you do Turkish Get Ups. Yeah, who taught Joe DI? I did. Thank you, Nick, or Nils. Joe's my friend, and we bust beans all the time. So yeah, Joe has some great videos. Go see him. Absolutely. Thank you, Rob. Thanks, bud. There will be slides for the webinar going out to you guys. Yes, Coach Godin, Dr. J will email them out. Thanks for coming, Jess. Yes, thank you, thank you. Turkish Get Up, I'll get to it. I see you. Back down. Said, stay away from your ear. Meaning, yeah, Joe. So me and Joe have done a lot of work together with bells. He means keep the bell away from your ear. So whatever you're doing, keep your shoulder down. And that goes back to packing the shoulder with the lats, using your lats and suck it in. That goes for cleans, snatches, swings. So that's a great one. What about locking the knee joint? Some people say, and some say no. Your thoughts? Well, when you lock them, you're firing your muscles. Okay, I need to see this kneecap suck up. Okay, so when you swing, you come up, you squeeze, and you squeeze. You are locked. Okay, so I actually look for kneecaps going up and down to see, and I look for your pants all scrunched up. I actually look for those things because that's how I know you're swinging. So one other little thing that just popped into my head, when you're swinging kettlebells, if you want that glute engagement, you have to squeeze. Doesn't naturally happen. You have to squeeze your glutes, quads, and abs to make that happen. It's not magic, okay? So keep that in mind. That is up to you to forcefully squeeze glutes, quads, and abs, okay? Thank you, thank you. Would love to know details of the course. Yeah, it's just go to coachcambio.podia.com. The course is listed there, but I'll certainly stay on and we can even do a quick chat after if you want.
Yeah, I'll also put the link in the follow-up email, Coach.
Okay, yep, thank you. Certified in bells. I highly suggest it too, Steph. Great point. When I say certification, I am definitely Strong First, RKC. Those are my top 2 choices. Those are the original ones for Hardstyle by Pavel. So he's the guy I recommend the most. I also teach the one-day courses, which are $500 or maybe 400. I don't know what they cost anymore, but website you get. Could you repeat the website you get your kettlebells from? Kettlebellkings.com. Use code Coach Cambio. So kettlebellkings.com. Okay, thank you, Josh. Okay, hope to see you soon indeed. How do you work with volume, time, reps, etc.? Okay, that's definitely an in-depth question for programming. If you stay on long enough, we can get to it. The difference between the Turkish Get Up and the Get Up is the name. Anyone ever seen Coach Cambio do a Turkish with a cup of water? It's more impressive with a person or a beer. Gotta hope. Hey guys, hey, SGX in Dallas, we're starting. Anybody wants to come? I'll be down there. You know, I'm going to talk bells if we're in a room together. So I'll be in Dallas, June 18, 19. If you know anybody who wants to do it, send them my way. One beer at that SGX. Yes, we had beer. Thank you, Jerry. Awesome, Joe. Awesome. Does Kettlebell Kings offer the? Yeah, they do. I'm very good friends with Marcus Martinez. He created the whole thing. Great guy, great coach. I'm always for learning the basics first because he's more into flows, and flows are kind of more like play, like playing horse and basketball, where you kind of link all these things together. So if you don't have the basics down, you're not going to be that great at flowing. So do I love, and they have a lot more stuff coming out too. Yes. So overall, do I love them? Yes. Is it the place to start for most? No. That's my opinion on that. All right, get up. We had a get up. Here we go. I'm going to do a get up. All right. Let's see if you can see this. Here goes nothing. All right. You should always do a get up with a glass of water or even a shoe first. you want to be 45 degrees roughly off the spine, 45 degrees. Right hand, I roll to my right, fetal position, I roll it over. Arm in the air. Because this arm's in the air, this is bent. Now from here, this arm is at 45 degree, I'm rolling to this elbow. So I'm pushing through this heel, it's an actual hip extension, and I am rolling onto this elbow. So I breathe in, and I up. Here's the first movement, okay? Now from here, I gotta get to my, I'll spin around so you can see me. From here, I gotta get to this hand. So I just push the floor away. So I gotta find a spot for me that works, and that's about it. Now again, shoulder away from the ear, like pack the shoulders. Now from here, I'm gonna sweep the leg, like the Karate Kid, right? Sweep the leg. And what I'm looking for is a straight line with this foot back here, the rear one, this knee that's on the ground, and my hand that's on the ground. I'm looking for a straight line. Now I tend to adjust a little bit here. And from here, I sit on my heel. So I sit on my heel. Sit on my heel to tall kneel. Now, here's where you got to do the windshield wipers. What I mean by that is either you windshield wiper the front leg around or you windshield wiper the back leg around to get into your lunge position. So I was here. I'm going to go this way so you can see me sideways. Now I'm in my lunge position. Notice I'm on my toe. From here, hence the name, I get up. Okay? Now, tap the free leg, step back. I'll windshield wiper the front over. I'm gonna push hinge here, sit on my heel, go right out my femur. Now I'm gonna sweep again. Elbow down, push away, lay down. 2 hands on the bell, bring it down, roll it over. That is the Turkish Get Up. Could you do an extra hip hinge in there or a hip bridge? Absolutely. That's how we used to teach it. But now we just kind of forego that and keep that as a separate movement. But whatever you like. Go back to chat. Okay. All right. Any other questions, guys? If not, if you want to talk programming, we can get on. We can do separately for that if you want. That's fine. Just shoot me a message, and we'll do that. I don't see anything else, guys. Oh, one new message. All right. If no one else has questions, yeah, well, like I said, if you need something, simply message me. Don't worry about it. Like I said, Instagram, Facebook, whatever works. Pretty sure my number's out there. My email's out there. If you need anything, let me know, guys.
Coach, I'll, if you don't mind, I'll put your Facebook and your Instagram handle right into the email so people have a way to reach out to you. So thank you very much for your time, Coach Cambio. Very informative webinar. Everyone enjoyed it, including myself. So I'm hungry to go do some swings right now.
Yes, so swing away, swing away. 10-minute EMOM, that's your go-to for ever asking me that programming question. Always a go-to.
Love it.
All right, well.
All right, thank you everyone again for joining us. Great to see everybody, and I look forward to seeing you in July.
Awesome, guys. See you soon, everybody. See you soon. Aru.
Aru, thank you.
All right, guys. Doc, do we need to do anything?
Oh, we're all good. I'll just, I'm going to